I'm from product marketing, and I do a lot of fun stuff at product marketing, but I'm really grateful for this talk because today I'm going to speak about two of my favorite things, and that's explaining or telling the value of our products and telling something about our launches. So I often coordinate product launches in Tacton together with the product managers that you've met here as well. Okay. Our customers typically go to market with a product in three fundamental ways. And you know this already, but here is an example of a pump manufacturer. You can rely on direct sales. And all of these three channels have different pros and cons, right? So if you're relying on direct sales, which most of you are already, you own the customer relationship. You have experts, dedicated experts for your products. They know your products in and out. But there is a high cost of sales. And sometimes that cost is a bit too much, perhaps. You have low market reach. You have difficulties with maybe ramping up these experts in your team, especially if there's a brain drain and high turnover among your sales staff. So this can create some headaches for direct sales. Partner sales opens up new opportunities with that. These are often referred to as distributors, resellers, dealers, system integrators, and things like this, which has then a lower cost of sales. They are doing the footwork out on the field. You can reach a larger market because you can have partner network around the globe, and they have local presence. Maybe some of your customers actually have factories and facilities that needs to be serviced and so forth. But they maybe less skilled sales reps. They are also selling your competitor brands, which could be detrimental to your business. There could be more quote and order errors because these sales reps typically don't have the skill sets as your direct sales reps. And moreover, most importantly perhaps, is that they own typically the customer relationship. So they stand in between you as a vendor and your end customer, which can cause issues, of course. You don't have access to your customers, and maybe it's difficult for you to monetize on those customers. But then we also have this self-service channel, our customer self-service. In this case, it would be maybe a water treatment facility manager buying pumps on a regular basis for his water treatment facility. And this guy, by the way, is a digital native, most likely, as we've heard before. So buying on his own here is of course convenient for him. It's open 24/7. It's always available. You get a reduced cost of sales. This guy is handling all the buying journey, as we saw Johan talked about. But the good thing is also that you have global reach. You can reach your customers from anywhere. And you can grow your revenue with this. And also, if you have a direct contact with these guys, you own the relationship. As we saw this morning, you can then learn from how they use your equipment. If you have monitoring and IoT sensors on the equipment, you can learn how the customer uses the equipment. But of course, there are some drawbacks here as well, or some risks here. It requires some efforts from this guy. Does he know that he's buying the right thing? Does he know that, or maybe he's buying the wrong thing and blaming you as a manufacturer? Or maybe the buying is a bit too complex for him. How can you really ensure that they cope with that process of the B2B buying equipment? So there's a risk here as well, pros and cons. And you all know this. You try to leverage these kind of channels in the best possible ways and mix them to reach the best effects with your products. So the challenge for our customers, that is the B2B manufacturing, is really how can we bring the power of configure price quote that you're used to from direct sales to all sales channels. and how to make the B2B buying so smooth, transparent, and convenient that end customers themselves can define their own solutions. These products, as you can tell, they are not your typical B2C standard commoditized products. You know that you sell complex, high variant solutions to the market. And that also creates a challenge, right? How can you sell this complex stuff to the market and moreover require the end customer to find them themselves? So that is really the challenge here. If we go to Gartner has several reports and multiple, the benefits of self-service is clear. It's a clear benefit both for the seller and for the buyer. It's open 24/7. It lowers the cost of sales, as we talked about. You close business faster. The life cycle goes down or reduced. Maybe you have a better price in the self-service channel. And it's easier also if you have your order history. You can actually track your orders and your previous orders and order new things based on that. So there are several upsides with the self-service channels that we can leverage. And all of this is something that the digital natives expect. They've seen this already from B2C and the retail business, and they are used to that from their B2C consumer behavior. So why isn't B2B digital commerce booming, as it has been in the B2C? Well, there are challenges with this, and partly these are due to the fact that the products you sell are very different. They are high-variant products. So this is a report from one of the digital commerce platforms, Sana Commerce, and they asked the customers why, what's the problem with B2B commerce? And here are some of the answers that they said. So lack of accurate delivery times, lack of accurate pricing, stock levels, lack of product information. For instance, some reported that 68% were putting off buying online because of order errors, for instance, which could be caused by many different reasons, but maybe product data is one of them, that you order the wrong things and you thought that you ordered something, but something else was delivered. Delivery dates, order status, full product range catalog available. Maybe they talk to direct sales, but when they go into the website, they only sell spare parts. They expect the full product assortment in any channel, right? Searching, and also product configurators here. That's something they miss. So it seems like it's not the self-service itself that is the problem, it's the way it's executed and the tools that we provide in those channels to make this happen. And also, I should say that the challenges, most likely, I don't know exactly what kind of products these customers were buying, but for sure, these challenges become more intense and they increase the more complex your products are, of course. So trust and reliability seems to be very essential things here to make this happen. Another dilemma, if you want to engage with a self-service channel, you have the dilemma of platform selection, right? So either you go for a CPQ solution, because you're selling complex products, or you buy a digital commerce platform. We have Mauro here from Intershop representing one such platform, but there are many others, as you know. But the dilemma is really that if you go for CPQ, yes, you have good support for complex products, but most of the time, most CPQ vendors only provide assisted sales channels, direct sales typically. They focus on that. Whereas the opposite is true if you choose a digital commerce channel, a platform. Of course, they provide self-service, but they have no support for selling complex and highly configurable products. Mauro, do you agree? So. Okay. So this is the dilemma, and this is the dilemma that we are trying to bridge with our omnichannel solutions in Tacton CPQ. Okay, so we take pride in supporting the direct sales, of course, but as an option, this is our Tacton CPQ product. We have the core, but we have an option called omnichannel sales, and this really are different solutions to bring the power of CPQ to any of your channel, basically. So maybe you've heard about external users. That's a way to activate your partners inside Tacton CPQ, where we can regulate the governance and the editability and readability of the data so that your resellers also can actually sell inside Tacton CPQ. But for end customers, for self-service, we have then other solutions where you can embed the CPQ experience in external sites, right? And of course, for partner sales, you could also support partners with self-service, of course, but we traditionally or typically, these would be end customers doing the configuration here. But again, we could support both channels with the self-service solution. So what do we have today and what will happen tomorrow? So today we have a self-service API, which is very flexible. You can embed your CPQ anywhere and anyhow. So you can move things around. We provide rich and agnostic APIs to create that CPQ experience. And this could be a website, your website. It could be your partner's website. It could be partner channels or partner portals, for instance. Or it could be embedded in e-commerce platforms, as we saw. So there are a number of, it's quite flexible in that way. And one of the key themes in that API or those services is how can we make that configuration easy? So again, in the self-service channels, we can expect a completely different kind of skill sets of the buyer compared to a skilled direct sales representative, which has knowledge about the product and the domain and so forth. So we need to lower the threshold and make it easy for the end customer in this way. And we provide a number of tools to make that happen. And let me just spend a couple of minutes of explaining what we have already that can easify this. So again, we have advanced product variants. The same variants that you have in direct sales, we can use here. So you can actually provide the full portfolio to your end customers. We offer solution selling, of course, with mixed price types. You can sell both CapEx equipment as well as services. We can mix those price types in the quote, both one-time prices, subscription pricing, usage-based pricing, for instance. So you can really sell the full solution or provide the full solution to the customer. Of course, we have the same validation after every configurator selection, also here in self-service, which means that every time you make a selection, the constraints and the rules are validated, and you always get a valid solution. The customer can rely and trust the result of the configurator, also in this channel. Guided selling. Again, we can have technical configuration. If you know what engine you'd like to pick on the truck, you can collect the engine. But if you don't know, you don't have to. We can provide high-level needs-based questions that a non-technical buyer can understand. But the result is still valid and 100% correct. Automatic market compliance. All the market compliance rules that you've implemented in your direct sales channels will be available here as well. So you don't buy the wrong or a non-compatible truck for your market, or an elevator that doesn't comply with the elevator standards of the customer's market. Conflict resolutions, you know all this, impossible to make mistakes. We have recently introduced mandatory fields. So if you require the customer to fill in certain fields, we can highlight those in the configurator and encourage those to be filled out. Optimization we have here as well as we have in direct sales. Easy to add accessories and add-ons. The options that you saw from Anders today is also available in self-service. Instant net prices, of course. We can connect price model or price execution to this. So the prices shown to this buyer is not the list prices of elevators. It's the actual customer net prices of that particular customer. And we do that through connecting with a price model inside Tacton CPQ. Maybe for those of you using Omnichannel, you know the procedure there. Delta pricing as well. You saw this morning, available in self-service. And of course, visualization and AR to support the buying team to visualize the product, to share the product here with a QR code or a link, which enables the buyer to share the visualization inside the buying team. And of course, if we have the order history, we can also use that as input into the configurator, tailoring the configuration based on past orders and past purchases that you've done. So, easifying configuration lowers the threshold, bring those non-technical buyers into the world of CPQ. You've seen this map several times here, but again, we take great pride in data accuracy. That we don't master many of these data, but we ensure that they are brought into Tacton at the moment of sales, so that we execute the sales and quote generation on accurate and reliable data from your enterprise systems. So again, that means that your quote errors will go down, your order errors will go down, and making sure that you don't promise things to the customers that you cannot deliver on, both in terms of product and in terms of pricing. And of course, this also is available in any channel. So for direct sales, you know how you release products in Tacton CPQ out to the sales staff. But as you do that, it's automatically also available in your self-service channels. So you can always rely on that the data is accurate and trustworthy also to the end customers buying. So this centralized logic and data for product pricing and document is leveraged in any channel. So that means that you have always correct products and prices in all channels. You avoid pricing and product errors, which means less reworks and less change orders, of course. But also, you decrease your time to market for your new options and features. So again, if you have custom-built self-service channels, it may take weeks or months even to get your new features and products out to that channel. In this scenario, you actually launch everything at the same time to any channel. Immediately available. So again, one source of truth. You've heard that concept here a number of times, but it's applicable to any channel here. You leverage our configuration technologies to empower users to configure anything. And this has implication on the assortment that you can offer. So again, if you previously engaged in sales service channels with maybe spare parts or simpler products, you can now offer your full portfolio to the market in those channels. I think this is an important part, because that's also, again, what the digital natives expect. They expect to buy anything from you, not only some segment of your products. Another thing that I would like to just briefly mention here is that although the UI here is flexible and the customer can build and host that UI, we are relying on an integrated sales execution, which we strongly believe in, that everything in the deal is actually connected. I mean, the configuration results have effects on the bill of material, on the pricing, on the visualization, on the quote, and so forth. And that needs to be connected. You need to be ensured that you can rely that whatever you configured is also priced in the correct way. So, and that's why we have this integrated CPQV solution that minimizes any integration hassles and maintenance costs that you would have if you provide vendors for each of these bubbles. So that's also another important thing. And this is also applicable, of course, in your self-service channels. So everything there is connected. The pricing, the configuration results, in the same way as you have in CPQ. We will take care to ensure that that data is consistent across any deal that you provide on self-service. Okay, so what's next? So you already heard Jesper talk about this this morning. Self-service channels. This is something that we're working on, and we'll continue to releasing eventually here as we go forward. Let me just give you a little more meat to the bone here from Jesper's presentation. So self-service channels. So there will be a new object. Or if you're familiar with the Tacton administration terminology, you know what an object is. It's something that you can take advantage of in Tacton administration. And self-service channel will be a new object in Tacton administration. And you can create as many sales channels as you like. And in the sales channels, you will typically have different kinds of settings. So you can define your product catalog assortment. So which configured products or non-configurable products should be available for sales or buy in that channel. But we're also considering that you, inside a configured product or a product model, maybe you can define which options or which features or which assemblies should be available for this particular channel or not available, depending on, again, market compliance, skill set of the buyer, market rules, or whatever. So regulating the variance of a configured product. Then, of course, also user experience, defining the user experience. Because, again, we can expect that the skill set of the buyer will be different depending on which channel you're talking about. So what questions should be presented to the user, and what questions should not be presented to that user in that channel. And also, of course, branding and graphic design. I mean, we don't know where this channel is going to be placed, what digital e-commerce platforms or website. So we need to be customizable. The layout, the look and feel and styling of the solution has to be easily managed from inside Tacton CPQ. So for this, we have then defined these, what we call UI components, sales channels UI components. And these are the typical building blocks of the configuration experience. So we have UI components for the product catalog, where you browse and filter and search for configurable and non-configurable products. We have the main configuration window, where the questions are, you know, when you, the different question types, drop-downs, and image, and all those that we provide also in direct sales. We have navigational elements, steps at the top or at the side, or groups at the tab at the side. We also, of course, have the configuration results, so bill of material and pricing component. Visualization is another component. Summary or info group panel, maybe you've familiar with from Tacton administration. But there will be more of these UI components to follow as we progress through the time here. But the characteristics of this is that these components provide the functionality out of the box. And you then, as Jesper also showed this morning, each of these correspond to one short snippet of code, which you then paste in to your commerce systems or your website. And I'm going to show a short. Okay, so here's the branding part, right? So somewhere in Tacton administration for each channel, you will be able to then define the look and feel and styling of these UI components centrally, which will then automatically be leveraged in the external channel. And these, of course, can be channel specific, so you can define that styling experience for each channel. Now, I'm going to show a video. So, if we bring out the video here. So now you will see, if you just pause there for a minute, just pause a minute. So we're going to see a truck manufacturer now embed these UI components into the site. So he adds a code snippet, which is the configuration window here, refresh the page, and boom, the main dialog is there. Now he wants to add a navigation and the visualization UI components. Again, a couple of code snippets. Refresh. And there you have it. Now, let's change places for the visualization and the navigation. So he basically just moves those code snippets around in his environment. Copy. Paste. Reload. Much better, right? Much more balanced. Now we want to change the colors here and the styling. So you see there's a purple accent color here. So you change the font over here first. Space, and you can see a preview of down here of how it would look. So spacing is the padding between the different elements. You go on to colors. You see the buttons here, shift, change color. And then you want to adjust the edges of the rounded corners of the buttons here. You see down there. Now looks good. It fits with the styling of the website, and there you go. So refresh the page, and now you have the colors and the rounded corners. So in this way, you can really craft the styling with a centralized control panel inside Tacton administration. Very easy to deploy, very easy to manage. No front-end skills required to do this kind of thing. So next slide, please. Okay, so components, it's composable in the way we can shuffle things around. No coding skills. Also, I should say there are technical also benefits of this. Since this is based on modern web technologies, JSON and React, we ensure that it's compatible with most web applications or digital commerce platforms. And also, adjusting the visual appearance is easy and requires no extra skill sets there. Another thing, and this has been also mentioned through the day here, another thing with self-service channels is that we will now support system configuration. So system configuration was launched more than a year ago. It's a way in which you can combine multiple configured products. If you're selling open-ended systems like this, system configuration allows you to combine multiple configurable products into a system as a whole. And this was not available in our current omnichannel solution, but in this new solution here, it will. So now you can take advantage of system configuration also in your sales channel, self-service channels. Product selector is another feature that is also going to be a part of this, and this is if you are the use case here. If you have hundreds of product models, and maybe it's difficult to guide the end customer into picking the right product model. We are introducing a way in which you can filter, select, and easily sort of find the product model that is your starting point for the solution. So this is it makes it easier before you start the configuration experience. Also, Eric showed this also in the Vision video this morning. Another thing, which also has been mentioned a lot here, but is this analytics part. We are focusing a lot on that at the moment. And channel analytics will be important here, where sales channel manager can monitor the sales performance in the channel. But also product and supply chain and sourcing people can track change orders, ETOs, production forecasting. We heard, like Brahma said this morning, parts reduction analysis, for instance, things like this, as well as CPQ usage in general. We want to make this kind of data available out of the box for administrators inside Tacton CPQ. So you can actually monitor your solution and your business operations and improve upon it in a quick and efficient way. Last but not least, today, if you've used our self-service capabilities, you know that the customer starts her journey on the external channel, configure, price, and quote, and then eventually we bring that buying journey over to direct sales, who then in CPQ reconfigures and prices and takes the deal to closure inside Tacton CPQ. There is no sort of way back into the self-service channels here, although we have a proposal collaboration feature also there. But as the skill set of the buyer can be expected to be low, and there needs to be a way in which the direct sales can help drive the deal and interact with the buying team throughout the buying journey. So and this is sometimes it's referred to as digital sales room or channel switching to support. Maybe the buyer wants to start in one channel, but then wants to continue in another and move back and forth. So this smooth and continuous and sort of ubiquitous and seamless experience should be possible to do also with our self-service channels. Exactly how this will work is still to be determined, but this is where we truly want to go. To make that, again, to make the buying journey easier and smoother, right? Supporting, and maybe this actually makes the sales rep has a different role, right? In the future, maybe the sales rep isn't the one driving the deal but helping and supporting the end customer with value framing, value-based selling, outcome-based discussions, and so forth, rather than the nitty-gritty details of the technical solution. Again, reach out to us. I think everybody said that here. We want to hear your feedback on this, and as we now start to produce and launch these features. I encourage you to go to our website. Here are some of the logos that are using our customer self-service already today. There's a great video on the web with examples. Please go in and have a look in how they leverage our solutions. And I will just leave you with this slide while taking questions, which actually also sort of expresses this urgency that we talked about here, that the buyer expectations today oftentimes is not matching what the B2B manufacturers manage to execute in terms of sales. And if you don't manage to bridge these two worlds, you will lose deals to your competitors for sure. So I'll leave it up here for questions.
Thank you, Per.
45.
Yeah. Questions for Per?
Bertrand?
Great presentation. Thank you, Per. I didn't see document generation and CAD automation documents. Is this also included in the self-service?
Not in the first, but it will be for sure. Yes, document generation.
Okay. And if I understood, self-service is like an object in the CPQ environment. So meaning that you have, I've seen examples like you have US, Europe, and so it means you will expose a certain channel to a certain website. This is the goal?
That's up to you. No, the sales channel, I think it will be the core object, and then you regulate the visibility of that in the sales channel. Yeah. But I mean, you can copy and paste that code snippet into any place you want, right? So,
and there is something like authentication, security. So there will be still API involved, I guess.
Could be. And also, I think there was a question this morning about how do you track the users in CPQ and the users in the self-service channels. Today, we rely on the digital commerce platform keeps track of the customer, or your website needs to keep track of your customers. And then, of course, you need to map that with maybe an account contact in Tacton CPQ. You need to have some sort of connection, I think, to the account on the self-service channel and the account on Tacton CPQ in order to make correct price execution, for instance. You need to know where the customer comes from in that sense. And that's how it works already in today's solution. So,
available from today?
No, the existing solution already works like that. So you can make that connection between a self-service user and an account in Tacton.